Hope all of you have covered the HTML part of our website. Now let's move on to its styling. So this is how our website will look like after we add the CSS styling to it. You also need to make this site responsive. So let's look how to do this. So first we need to edit our header. The header consists of a logo and 4 nav links. And also when we hover over this nav links, its color changes to golden. So let's see how to do it. So first let's add an external style sheet to this. Let's link this style sheet into our index.html. So that's it. First let's change the background color of the body to white. Now you can see that on the sides of the logo you have some unwanted space. So let's remove that. So this is one of the crucial steps you should do while building a website. You should first remove all the unwanted space and later we can add the spaces as per our needs. Now let's style all the main divs inside our website. First let's name all our main divs. Let me enlarge my screen and format document so that it becomes more clean. So we have given main divs for all the sections. So let's name all the main divs as containers. Copy that. Our second main div comes in hero section. Then in the about section, skills section, form section, and finally on the footers. Now let's save and get back to our page. Now let's style our containers class. So first let's change the width of the container as 80% and the margin as 0 auto. So this will set the top and the bottom margins as 0 and the left and the right margins as auto depending upon the width of the screen. Now let's set the overflow as hidden. It will remove the scroll bars. Let's save and view the changes. So first let's change the background color of the header. Let's see what its color is. Let's copy paste this color. Now let's change the color of the text to white. And also give a padding of 10 pixels from top to bottom. Top and bottom and 0 pixels on the either sides. Sorry, 10 pixels. Let's save. So inspect is one of the greatest tools which we developers use. So if we know to use this one correctly, then it will make your work much easier. Now let's view our changes. So now you can see our background color has changed to green and the color of the text has turned to white. So these are links, we need to change its color separately. Now let's move these nav items towards the right side. For that, first let's focus on the header nav and use the float property to float it towards the right side. We can also give a margin top of 10 pixels. Let's save, refresh to see the changes. Now all this unordered list by default has some padding and the margin attached to it. So first let's remove it. Header UL. Let's set its margin to 0. Also the padding to 0. Now you can see all the unwanted space has been removed. Now what we should do next is to align all these items to a single name by using the display inline property. For that, first let's focus on the header list items. Display inline. Let's give a padding of 0 pixels from the top and bottom and 20 pixels to the right and left. Let's set the font weight as bold. Let's set the font size as 15 pixels. Now also change the font family as Roboto. For that, first you need to import the font family from the Google Fonts. You may have some predefined fonts within this, but the extra fonts could be imported from the Google Fonts. In this, let's search for font Roboto. Let's select the styles which we need. Can select the regular one, the bolder one, and maybe a black one. So we will be using one more font in the hero section. Let's download that. The font is named as Dancing Script. So this is it. Let's add these ones too. Now what we should do next is to attach this file into our CSS sheet. For that, first click on the import option and select this line in between the style tags. Copy paste and attach it to the top part of our CSS sheet. So that's it. After that, let's specify the property. Select this font family Roboto from this. Copy and paste it to our list item. Now let's save and see the changes. Now you can see that our list items has been aligned to the single line. Now let's change its color and add the hovering effects. Now let's select the anchor tag. The color of the links comes from the anchor tag. Let's change its color to white. And also the text decoration as none. This property removes the underline which you see under these links. Now the anchor tag on hover gives the golden color. For that we use the hover property. Let's change its color to, let's say, golden color. Let's save, refresh and view the changes. You can see that the color of our link has changed to white and on hover it turns to golden color. Now let's align it properly into this side. For that, first let's give an ID caption to your name div. And also let's change the color of the first part of your name to golden. For that you will use the span property. We'll place the first part of your name inside this span. We will give a class name as logo gold. Now let's save and open your style sheet. Then let's target our ID caption and float it to left side. And also the H1 element on caption. Let's set its margin to 0. Now let's select our span element, header, In that, the class name logo gold. Now let's change its color to golden. Let's save and refresh. Now you can see that the first part of your name has changed to golden, and also the links has perfectly aligned to the logo. Let's give a space between the name. Perfect. Now that our header section is done, now let's move on to our next section, that is the hero section. In the hero section, I have a background image and some text. So I am selecting the ID hero. First, let's comment the hero section. And the ID hero. Now let's give the minimum height as 500 pixels. Let's save and view the changes. You can see that our hero section now has a minimum height. Now let's add a background image to this. I have created my using the Canva. You can either do the same or download the HD images from the browser. Let's attach it to the site. Background image. Let's specify the URL as BG image. Now let's give the background repeat property as no repeat. Background position as center. And background size as cover. So that's it. Let's save and refresh the page. Now you can see that our background image has been done. Now let's move on to our next part, that is the text and our button. Now let's style this H4 element. ID hero H4. Let's give a font size of 25 pixels and a margin top of, let's say, 160 pixels. Margin bottom of 0 pixels. And finally text align it to center. Now for our name, that is H1 element. Let's give a font size of 75 pixels. Margin top as 0. Margin bottom as 5 pixels. And finally the text align as center. Now let's save and see the changes. Now this is our main heading. So we should make it a little more different. Let's change its color to golden. And also let's change its font to the font which we have downloaded previously. The dancing script. Let's copy and paste it. Now let's hit save and refresh. So that's it. Now let's style the button. For that, hash hero button. First, let's change its font size to 19 pixels. Background color to white. Now let's add a padding of 10 pixels to the top and bottom and 20 pixels to the left and right. Let's change the font weight as bold. Let's also give a border box with 1 pixels radius, solid and color black. Now let's change the color of the text to our green color. Let's save. Now you can see that your button has styled. Now let's move this button to the center. For this, we can display flex, align item center, margin auto. Now let's save and refresh. Now you can see that your button has correctly aligned to the center. Now let's add a hovering effect through this button. For that, let's target hero button hover. Let's change its background color to green on hover. Let's change its text color to white. And also let's change the color of the border to golden. 1 pixel solid and the golden color. Let's save and refresh. Now you can see that our hover effect is perfectly applied. So this is all about our header section and the hero section. In the next section, we will see how to style our about me section.